Do I look like a gardener to you? I am a better, I am not a gardener. Hedging is for gardens. How does your garden grow?
With plus money.
With plus money. Hedging is for gardens.
Welcome in everyone to Betting Weekly Live. It is Friday the 31st of October. You're with Steve Wyss and Nigel Seeley. And Nigel, happy Halloween to you.
I listen. I'm a bit of a miserable son, so I don't put anything out. No kids knock on my door. Run out of sweets. Got stink bombs to throw at them. I'm not really into Halloween. Doesn't really do me. It's a very American thing. I know a lot of American viewers are on here, isn't it? I mean, when we were kids, we never really did anything Halloween, did we?
It was more mischief night than Halloween.
Every night was mischief night when I was a kid. But we didn't do anything for Halloween, did we?
Well, it was a lot different to what it feels like now. It's more about sort of the dressing up, the parties. I mean, the pumpkin farms around my area go crazy in the build-up to it. Everyone's parking the car and picking pumpkins. So, it's one of those where, I mean, we were going to get Simon Holden on today, of course. That would have been an interesting one on Halloween night, wouldn't it? But thought about dressing up for a minute, but that might have been against the grain. But welcome in, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Happy Halloween. Let's hope we've got plenty of treats on the betting front today and not tricks. Leslie, Matt, we will talk about the Luton gaming. Chunga, to see you. Hamdare, good to see you as well. Claudio S. Always a pleasure to see you, Claudio, as well. I love these shows, but the results from the soccer shows are very poor, especially the English Premier League.
Oh, not him again.
28.
We had a winning week last week.
Mike, Grazza or stink bomb still a thing? Good question.
Well, can I just address something from Claudio? I just want to address something very, very, very just pointless, just to show you how things can change very much and quickly in sports betting. We were just speaking off air, weren't we, about our WTA show this year. Now, obviously, our WTA show this year, we didn't give any picks. This is women's tennis, basically. We didn't give any picks on the matches. We were only supposed to pick picks on outright tournaments, and we had a terrible, terrible start to the year. When we started giving picks on matches, we won 13.26 units on the women's tennis, right? But the channel it's still showing about 60 points. We've got two women in the semi-finals, one at 33 to 1, and one at 14 to 1. They're about a 3 to 1 shot to win to win their tournaments. Now, are they bad value bets or are they good value bets if they win or they lose? They're 33 to 1 and 14. They're both about 3 to 1 now. If they both win at the weekend, the Betting Weekly WTA show will go from the worst show in terms of profit on the channel this year to the most successful. Now, does that mean that all the bets we had before were terrible? Or does that mean that, variance comes around and, you're betting things at 50 to 1 and 33? Or if those two players lose or like other players have lost in the semi-finals and haven't made the final, does that mean we're terrible? That's how things are very, very different in sports betting. If you're betting 40 to 1, 50 to 1 shots every week on suggestions and they trade them 4 to 5 to 1 and they don't necessarily win, does that make you a bad tipster? Does it make you awful? No. I mean, you just didn't get a bit lucky. But over a period of time, you get lucky. But anyway, we'll get lucky. We'll be okay. We'll be all right. We'll turn the Premier League around as we do every season.
Yeah, I think one thing it does show is you've got to look long term. As with a lot of things, you can't judge something over a 1 month period or even like a 4 month period. It's a longer process than that. Needleman does say Kimberly Birrell going nicely in Chennai. That is one of the bets that you're certainly keeping an eye on, Nigel. We will be talking ATP Tour and WTA Tour later in the show. We've got the best soccer bets from around Europe today. Not the biggest slate on the card, but still some interesting games. Now, yesterday, a notable winner on the sportsbook, Thunder minus 15 against the Wizards, $57,000. A rather surprising bet here, 46,000 on the Dolphins plus 8 against the Ravens. That was a loser. I'm not sure who would back the Dolphins right now based on their season. I think most in chat were in Betting Weekly Live earlier yesterday were thinking about the Ravens, but plus 8, that was a loser. On the flip side, a 20 grand winner on the Ravens minus 8.5. In the soccer front, the biggest bet was actually in the Finnish league yesterday. Inter Turku against SJK over 1.5 first half goals. It was a winner, $9,000 winner at -141. But there's more meat on the bone, I think, today, really, Nigel, on the soccer front. Just looking through some more comments before we go. SW, we don't cover the Russian league. CSKA Moscow, that's a name I've not heard in quite a long time. Used to be a record in the Champions League, of course. Real Brandon King said he's just finished the EPL preview. Hi from Toronto and happy Halloween. Turin and Rotterdam Tourist Board. Is there any
I mentioned Turin. I think I mentioned Turin yesterday, saying that place was a bit of a dump as well. So I think he's picked on that as well. Sorry about that. There are some nice places I like. I must admit. I mean, you can change it to the places that I actually do like if you want. Miami's great. Where else is brilliant? Estoril in Portugal is absolutely fantastic. Don't have to be. It's not all negative.
Is Turin that bad? Turin, doesn't it host
bit edgy.
Olympics, the Winter Olympics is coming up this winter. We're going to get Roy Girani, aren't we? For some
he's got to be good for something, isn't he? We got to get him on. I mean, let's be fair. No, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's a bit edgy. The city's a bit edgy to it. It's cold as well. This time it's freezing cold. It's quite picturesque, but it's got a big square. It's not really. There's not really. I like places where you go, like cafe bars and little bars, and you know where the centre is. I don't like walking around. Turin's got there's hardly any centre in it. When you get there, you think this is it. It's got to be something else. Nobody else. And the tennis is pretty bad. It's the end of the season tournament. But anyway, there will be a WCA preview show. We've just recorded it. That should be up probably after this show. Actually, that will be up. Extra time will go up first, and then we'll go up after extra time. So later on this evening, we'll have that up.
Just want to give a shout out to a big long odds winner yesterday. These pop up every single day, and there's been quite a lot of people cashing on last touchdown scorer in the NFL recently. $50 on Rashad Bateman last night at 24-1, and that's netted someone $1,200. The value is out there; you can find it. Last touchdown scorer. I've never bet on that market in my life. But it seems to be very profitable for quite a few.
Yeah, and the value was out there just before the show, Steve. 301 at Swindon, trap 6, as I told John Izzard in the chat. Just won by about 8 lengths, John. Oi. Nice winner.
Go. Right, Claudio is asked, Nigel, is Coventry -115 a trap today? It looks like a winner to me. Right, we're going to get into the first match today. This is the Championship. Wrexham against Coventry City. Wrexham plus 270, the tie plus 240. An absolutely free-flowing Coventry City -122, who look set. I think they're going to win the Championship, Nigel, now, to be honest with you. We've got over 2.5 goals at -103. Both teams score, yes, is around even money. I think a lot of people will look at this Coventry, the odds on Coventry today, and think maybe it's too good to be true. Is it a trap, or would that be overthinking it?
Well, I mean, they were bigger. I mean, we were even money this morning. Money's come from -117, -122 now with Bet Rivers, and I expect that to sort of level itself off about -125. I think they are by far the best team in the Championship. I asked you to bet me for them, didn't I? The other day, you've put a nice bit of money on for me. I think they're going to walk it. They got goals, you know. That's when they create chances and they come out the blocks and they score goals, and they score goals quick. They've got goals from all over the pitch. Branson Thomas Asante 9 goals and 11 gaps. You've got Haji Wright, who's got 9 goals in all competitions. Victor Torp might be back fit. He's been out for the season. They've got Ellis Sims, Mason Clark. I mean, that is a firepower. That is phenomenal in this division. They've won their last 6 matches. They've scored at least 2 goals in every single one of those matches. They've gone to Millwall, who have been very, very good this season, and bashed them 4-0. They beat Birmingham, who everyone expected them to do well, 3-0 at home. They went to Sheffield Wednesday. I know Sheffield Wednesday have got so many problems, but a 5-0 victory there put them to bed. Coventry at the weekend, 3-2 early on inside 5 minutes. They don't stop scoring. And they beat my team, QPR, 7-1 early in the season. Put 5 past Derby. I mean, that is phenomenal firepower at this division. And defensively, they're strong. They've got a goalkeeper who is the best goalkeeper in this division by an absolute mile, who wouldn't be an outside bet, you know, to make the England squad. I think that he could be a look for. Might be interesting to keep an eye on him, you know, Rushworth, to be in the England squad. The third choice England position is up for grabs, because obviously you've got Trafford not playing at Manchester City. Aaron Ramsdale. You've got Henderson and Pope possibly, but as an outside bet, he might force his way into it. He's the best goalkeeper in the division. So defensively, they're strong. From an attacking point of view, they are the best in the division. Their goal XG is really good as well. And they're up against the Wrexham side, who I think now have found their level. They are a mid to low championship side unless they spend money again. They've done the story about them, the American buying into the story, coming through the non-league, League Two, League One. Now they're at this level. This is where they are. They're a mid-table, bottom to mid-table championship side. They're without Lewis Brunt tonight, ruled out for 3 months. Danny Ward is out. Callum Doyle is also out, misses his final suspension. And Ben Sheaf may not be fully fit as well. They're 4 big players for Wrexham. And when you're playing against this team that are full of confidence like they are, I think that this is a decent price for me. I mean, you look at Wrexham, they're a very fashionable side, aren't they? If you look at their matches, have notoriously involved with goals recently, but Phil Parkinson has changed the way they've played in recent weeks. They've gone a little bit more defensively. They're not so much of a goal scoring threat as they were in League One or League Two, and they're up against, to me, the best team by some distance in the Championship. I think Ipswich are capable of a lot better on what they're performing, and I think those two sides are the best 2 teams in it. The rest of them are much, and I put Wrexham right down, sort of around about 14th, 15th, really. That'd be my sort of rating for Wrexham in this division. Done exceptionally well, but this is a step up a bit against the Coventry side, who are the real deal for me.
Yeah, it has been quite a bruising period for Wrexham. They just played in the EFL Cup against Cardiff and lost that game. It sounds like with their absences, it's more, a real dead pool of absences for them, Wrexham, right now. And I totally agree with Coventry being a bet here on the money line, -122. I like that bet from Efi Brilowski as well. Team total over 1.5 goals at plus 100. Grazia said normally get a great price on Asante in most games. I'll check him out. Wrexham were poor against Cardiff the other day as well, says Grazia.
Yeah, I mean, the only loss that Coventry have had this season was in the English League Cup, and it wasn't that's not a bad thing to be knocked out of that competition early on, so you can concentrate at this part and put points on the board in the table. And yeah, I just their goal scoring threat is so strong, and I just don't think this Wrexham team is as good as what people believe. I mean, they have found their level, and this is a side that are on the middle. I mean, if the price got down to say -130 or even lower, like -132, those kind of odds, I wouldn't be getting involved in that. But I bet them this morning at even money. Actually, I'm very, very happy with that. And at this current line, I'm happy to put them in as the first leg of today's daily double on the money line.
Yeah, that is going to be the first part of the daily double today. I totally agree with it. Just 59% of the money on Coventry. And I do think sometimes with Wrexham, just because of the names that are linked with the club, it's like Hollywood, isn't it, really? It's like stuff like that, where I feel that sometimes a little bit overrated. 74% of the money is on the over. Let's look at some more questions there. Nigel, what do you prefer, Coventry money line or the team total? If you had
that's quite interesting. That's quite interesting, that one, because Wrexham have only kept 1 clean sheet in the Championship all season, which was against against Oxford, a couple of weeks ago in midweek. That's their only time they've kept the clean sheet. They've conceded 3 at home to Hull. They've conceded 3 at home to West Brom. They've conceded 2 at home to Sheffield Wednesday, 3 at home to QPR. I know since the match against Norwich, sort of like when the League Cup, when they won the League Cup against Reading, their next matches have been quite tight, but they have conceded goals at home. They scored goals as well. Both teams to score, yes, is a low price. I wouldn't be rushing to get that at the price, but that could be a decent way to play with them, to take the even money over 1.5 Coventry goals. It does seem high though. I know they have scored goals, and I know that they've been so prolific, but to bet a team at even money to score 2 or more goals doesn't really like it. It would have cashed a lot of time and it would have made a lot of profit, but it does seem an extremely low price. The other thing to factor in, I don't know what the weather's like where you are, Steve, today, but the weather's awful here. Really heavy rain. And I've just been watching some horse racing action and sports action across the UK, and there seems to be an awful lot of rain around. And that ground in Wrexham is open to the elements. So that might bring down a little bit of, that it may not make the match as attractive on the eye to watch as well. So if you're cheering goals, that could be a positive. You can't be betting unders with these two sides. It's insane. But I do think the weather could play a little bit apart if we get the rain that we've been getting like throughout the country. I'm looking at it now. It's light rain, nothing too much. So they may have escaped it, but definitely around sort of the west coast of England and all the way some south here as well. The weather's not great. It's been awful all day.
Yeah, it's been awful, and it is awful here right now. But I'm hoping. I mean, I heard the forecast is improving a bit later in the evening. I hope so, because I'm going to be going out there on the streets with my youngest on the old trick or treating. Right. So I'm hoping it will be dry, and it looks like it will be dry for Wrexham. Although it's not, you're right, the elements are a bit open there.
Someone's asking me if it's going to be dry for Nigel Seeley. 100-1 is Nigel Seeley participating in Sober October. I think I've answered this question before. I've given up drinking for 10 days. That was September the 3rd, 2005, 15th of October, 2003, and the 1st of January, 2022. And I can't remember the other 7 days. But yes, I have been giving up drinking for 10 days.
Simon Holden's been on Sober October, hasn't he?
He says that. It just means he doesn't go out. We don't see. He tells me that every year. He tells me that every year. But then we don't see him. He never goes out in October, and then all of a sudden you see him in November, and he's fallen asleep in bars again. But he never goes out in October. So Simon has told us this is what happens, but we have no actual evidence of that being the case.
Simon Holden still with the only daily double winner on Betting Weekly Live, the early edition so far. So hopefully we can put that right today.
We've got to stop that.
You decided to lean on me for the second part.
Well, no, because listen, I could give you something on the tennis or something like that, but it's semi-finals, and there's not really much value in semi-finals and tennis. You know, when you usually make your money on the first round, second round, third. When we get to the finals and semi-finals, it's hardly any value, and we've got positions already. I like Coventry. I consider myself a decent judge in the English Championship. There's no league lower in the English lower leagues this week because of the FA Cup matches. Some of these teams, we'll be guessing how good the strength they are. But we've got a lot of European football, and I've got the best in the European football here on the show with me. Well, the second best, James Eastman couldn't make it today, but I've got the rest of the show, and I thought I might as well ask you to join.
Simon's made me laugh here in comments. The only double he's had on. But yeah, I am going to give the second part of a daily double today, and we're going to Germany for it. We're going to Augsburg, Dortmund, and I'm going to take a leaf out of your book, actually, Nigel. The last time that me and you were on the show and we talked Dortmund, I went under, didn't I? Stupidly.
You don't like Dortmund. You always, whenever we do the Betting Weekly Insiders coming out a little bit later on today, and we have a little conversation about the rankings, the ratings, and every week Steve will always move Dortmund down wherever they are. Whenever I put them up, he's never low enough. And every time we've been on the show, the Champions League show, we spoke about Dortmund. You've always been negative, and I think they've won every single time. They've got a good record.
Every time I suggest a team goes rapidly down the rankings, they have Napoli last week. I said bring them down 3 or 4 notches, and they go and beat Inter.
Man United.
Man United. I said Dortmund, bring them down a couple of notches. You can guarantee they put in a performance tonight. Now they are against an Augsburg side who just lost 6-0 at home last week against RB Leipzig, and they also lost in the cup midweek against Bochum, Dan Roebuck's favourite German side. 1-0. They were minus 200 to win that game. So it's not a great period for Augsburg. Wagner is in charge of them. There's been talk that he might lose his job, but apparently they're sticking with him for the foreseeable future. And I think, to be honest, the best bet in this game is the overs. The single bet I'm going to advise is over 3 Asian goals at minus 125. But the piece I'm going to add to the daily double is over 2.5 goals. Which is a full cash with 3 goals exactly. Dortmund are minus 175 favourites, and I think they'll get the job done. Really, they're a much better side overall, but they are missing a key man at the back, Nico Slotterbeck, who Liverpool have been linked with this week. They feel like he could be the answer to their problems at the back, and I've got to say his stats are very, very good since he came into the team this year for Club and Country. Just 7 goals conceded in 11 starts. He wasn't involved for that 4-4 draw, the wild 4-4 in Turin, or the 3-3 draw against St. Pauli. So they're a much better defensive team when he's in the side. But he's missing tonight's match because of a cold. He's
no.
yeah, because of a cold. I mean, you'd think he might dose himself up, but
Now what? This 2025. What's going on with these?
I know.
If Sunday League football teams I missed for a cold, I'd be going mad.
You don't often get a team admit it, do you? He's out with a cold. You'd say a virus or something, wouldn't you?
No.
But he's not playing Slotterbeck. I think it's a big blow, and I think Augsburg might be able to get at him. Every single Augsburg game, bar one, has gone over 2.5 goals this season. Most of the reason for it is because they concede so many goals. Domestically, Dortmund have been on under trends, though. Their last 6 matches domestically have gone under the main Asian goal line. That is a slight concern. You could say they're due goals, and if they're not going to score them against Augsburg, then I don't really know where they are going to.
Don't you buy into that theory that I've mentioned many times here, especially in the Premier League, when you do the analysis of teams that concede like 5 or 6 goals, the high trend is that the following week the under 3.5 usually comes in, or under 2.5, and the goal adjusts itself, or outside that bad that we just throw that out the window.
I do like that theory. Yeah, I just think they've got so many problems. I'm not sure they can defend it. And I think their best way of getting a result is to get at Dortmund here. You might look at that team and think, yeah, no Slotterbeck, we might be able to get a goal or 2 against them. They've actually beat Dortmund last season, Nigel, 2-1 at home. So they've got good memories of that. So for me, over 3 Asian goals is a good single bet for the game. And the daily double, which I will get on screen now, is this. Coventry money line and Augsburg Dortmund over 2.5 goals at plus 171. So hopefully we can finish the week on a high with the daily double here on Betting Weekly Live.
I did look at the FA Cup match, Steve, the Luton Forest Green match, and I was trying to find some angles on that. And a lot of people in the chat were saying about the betting the over goals. And I didn't watch the show yesterday, but did you mention Luton yesterday? Because someone said, is it the general consensus to be with over the goals? The thing is, with the FA Cup first round matches now, the non-league teams that come and play, like Forest Green, obviously a very, very good side, good setup, professional setup. They defend for their lives, and they try. They don't get beat by as many goals as they used to bet. If you go through the FA Cup first round nowadays, there's a lot more unders matches than there has been in years gone by, and the trend of these teams getting beaten by the more fashionable teams isn't the way anymore. If they do win, it's usually in the second half when the better team shows they're expert in fitness and the other team run out of legs. So if you are betting on those goals, which when you look at the matchup, there is potential for goals in that match. I think you want to be betting them more in the second half rather than the first half. If it's 0-0 at half time, bet over 1.5 in play with Bet Rivers rather than take the 2.5 or the 3s before the match.
Yes, I was betting Luton overs a lot early in the season, but that was under the previous manager. Jack Wilshere now is in charge. That is the FA Cup match, Luton Town against Forest Green Rovers, League One against non-league opponents. I actually nearly added Luton Town as my double piece here at minus 305, Nigel. But what I really wanted was -1 Asian handicap, but Rivers are not offering the Asian handicap on the FA Cup at this stage of the competition, which is understandable. You could look at Luton -1.5, but I think they just want to get the job done here. Robbie Savage, of course, is in charge of Forest Green Rovers. Jack Wilshere for Luton Town. Interesting manager matchup. And, Luton did get an important win last week, and I think Jack will sort them out. But it's still very early on in his reign, isn't it? And funny things can happen in the Cup. I think Luton will win it. But there's no extra time now, is there? Sorry, there is extra time. There's no replays. That's it.
No replays.
Good luck if you are betting in the FA Cup there. In terms of that Bundesliga split, 94% of the money's on Borussia Dortmund, 93% of the money's on the over. Both teams score yeses, hitting 8 of Augsburg's last 9 Bundesliga games. Thanks for that stat from producer Troy. There is a La Liga game on today as well. Getafe against Girona. It's quite a tricky one. Girona have been disappointing this season. They were in the Champions League last year, of course. Needed extra time in midweek to see off I think a 4th division team in the Cup. But they managed to go through. Getafe won 11-0 in their Cup match, although it was a complete rotation of the normal team. They were a -6 on the Asian handicap to win that game. Covered it smartly, 11-0 win. Getafe, I think, probably would be lean for me here, -0.25 goal, though, at -124. You've always got to have draw security. in your pocket with Getafe. We got a goal line of 2. Their matches are often low scoring. One of the main reasons for it is they foul so many times. Hugely high foul rate. Games are stop-start. A lot of time is taken out of the games with Getafe. So you know what you're going to get with their sort of fixtures. Girona, I don't really know what I'm going to get with them these days, Nigel. That's the problem. They nearly drew at Barcelona. Their results are all over the place, really. I think they're fighting hard at times, but I wouldn't want to be backing them because they make too many mistakes. But
yeah, I know the market isn't really around a lot with Bet Rivers, depending on the site you have with wherever you're located in America, whichever state you're in. But I mean, Getafe are always the go-to team for a red card, aren't they? For every season, wherever they play. I'm just looking through their records there. The last 2 matches they played, there've been three red cards in their last 2 matches. They're a feisty bunch, and that's putting it polite. This will be low scoring, 1-0 Getafe, that kind of match. It's got that kind of look about it. Definitely over the cards, over the bookings. The histrionics come out, they're diving all over the place. Getafe aren't a team who like to play football in a very pretty style. So if you can get on those card markets, or definitely a red card itself, that would be the way that I would be going in this match. But I do think it'll be low scoring. Getafe low scoring and red cards are usually the way to play, and whoever they play.
Exactly that. And for those who can access the market, the Rivers have set the fouls line at 36.5 in this game. Over 36.5 fouls is -110. That just shows you what we're expecting. The cards line.
I don't follow that market, Steve. So that doesn't. I wouldn't know if that's big or not. So what would a usual foul line be set at? Because it's not
24.
a market. So it's a 13, almost up, not the 13 more than a normal match.
Pretty much, yeah. It's absurd. There was one match with Getafe, someone earlier this season. The foul line was set at 42.5, and it did go under. I mean, to get 43 fouls in a game would be absurd, but it can happen. If it's going to happen, it will be Getafe. I think that's one of the main reasons they have so many under the goal lines, Nigel, because they just stop any counterattacks or anything. They nip it in the bud immediately. They'll take their cards. That's why they get red cards. Anthony Curtis, good to see you. Forest Green games are good for corners.
Is that a new name to the chat, Anthony Curtis?
Yes, welcome into
Anthony. If it's your new Spurs show, Anthony, thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully you'll be cashing on the Forest Green corners.
Yeah, hopefully. Tristan says Getafe normally score 11 goals a season, something like that, Byron. But they're usually 11 1-0 wins, aren't they? And Byron is shocked by the foul line as well. There is some betting breakdowns for that game. 90% of the money is on Getafe with 91% of the tickets. And shockingly, 85% of the over-under money is on the over. Although it is a low goal line, so that can tempt people in.
99.9% of the money is on the over cards as well.
Yes, no one's money's going to be betting on the undercards for that one. The Dortmund game, 26.5 line for fouls, by the way. RHM, anything in the second division of La Liga? No, I don't actually follow La Liga 2, RHM. But if you do, put your best bet in chat and let us know. That is it for the soccer today. So
don't all go just yet. You know, please, there's always a drop on when you say that's it for the football. Then everyone comes back to tennis. But there might be a few bits of action on some tennis matches as well. So don't go just yet.
ATP Paris. What a lovely city Paris is.
I thought so, but Sean Calvey, everyone has a go at me when I turn around and say Rotterdam isn't very good. But Rotterdam is really not. It's great. It's a port town, you know. But Paris is beautiful if you go to some parts. Sean Calvert didn't like it. You know, it's too expensive, too dirty. Court was too big, too busy. You know, the usual stuff, too expensive. God knows why he bothers going. I don't know. But he
goes every year, doesn't he?
He goes every year. He wasn't happy in the city of love. Anyway. Yes, we have action tonight. New venue. There's 2 matches tonight. Shelton against Sinner, which is, I think it's about 7 o'clock over in the UK, which will be 3 o'clock local time, Eastern time. Ben Shelton, obviously the American player who is bidding to, these two got nothing to play for, essentially. They're both in the Tour Championships, which is in a week's time in the beautiful city of Turin. But 6-1, Jannik Sinner wins the head-to-head here. But Jannik Sinner hasn't played that great this week. Both of his matches have gone over against Zizou Bergs and Surundalu. He was lucky in the tournament against Zverev. Zverev should have won that. And that match went over. And I think this one here may be a little bit closer than those odds suggest. I like the over 22.5 here at plus 106. I think this, especially first set as well, over 10.5 in set number one. Sinner should, if Sinner's up for the challenge, which he has been in pretty much every match he's played so far, it'll be too strong for Ben Shelton. But I do think this might be quite testing. All overs so far this week in Sinner matches, and I think he will make this a little bit of a test for him. And in the other match, Medvedev against Zverev, two players that have had a pretty bad year, both of them by their high standards. Huge amount of head-to-head records between the two of them. 15-7. Daniil Medvedev leads on Alexander Zverev. Zverev's played a lot of tennis. Medvedev's got probably something to prove. I think he'll want to. I don't think Spirits Orgeadacim has just guaranteed his spot, so he may be able to take over Musetti if he wins his tournament. I think he might still have a chance. So the motivation might be more for Medvedev. Medvedev won the tournament at Almaty, first tournament of the year, doing well here as well. Had a bad season, but I think the extra head-to-head record he's got over Zverev, 15-17 on a court that is a little bit slower than, well, a lot slower than it was last year. And I think it will suit Medvedev more than Zverev. Motivation more for him. He's played 14 matches indoors this season, Medvedev, and he's won 11 of them compared to Zverev, who's 6-4 in the year. So Medvedev is a better indoor player this season, and he's peaking at the right time. So I think that Medvedev could beat Zverev tonight in this match.
Yeah, two very interesting players. There's been quite a few questions about the match in play at the moment. Bublik is against De Minaur. Yeah. I don't know if you've been following it or not.
I haven't been following it. No, I haven't been following it. I mean, I saw a lot of people putting Bublik up in the chat. I mean, Alex De Minaur is a player that, again, he's made his way through to the Tour Championships, and it's so he's played a lot of tennis recently. Bublik's all about how Bublik feels on a particular day. I think it was a break up, and he's now a break back. He's going with serve 6-5. Where would I go? Where would I go now? I probably think. I mean, to be fair, I probably wouldn't have a bet on it. I think
it's minus 104 Bublik, De Minaur minus 120, 6-5 to Bublik. It's on serve. Yeah, so I mean, if you're betting on the game,
it's not far a pick a match, and those odds you can't really. I mean, it's very hard to find value in a quarterfinal of a 1,000 event when it's a pick a match, really. Yeah, but if push to shove, I'd go for Bublik.
Yeah. Let's see how that match develops. Like I said, you can bet on there live on the Bet Rivers app or website. Notable live streams today, by the way. Getafe Girona, you can watch that. You can watch the La Liga 2 game, Racing Santander against Real Sociedad B. Action in the Eredivisie with PSV, Sporting Lisbon in the Portuguese league as well. You can watch Wrexham versus Coventry on the Bet Rivers live app as well, in addition to matches in Belgium, Turkey. Be very careful if you're betting there. Istanbul, Basaksehir are in action. 5 Ligue Dirt games in France, and of course you can watch ATP Paris on the live on the app as well. So very good news there for watchers of sports. The Betting Weekly Insider will be released into your inbox today, probably within the next 2 or 3 hours, you would imagine, Nigel.
Yeah.
And again, it's the same features as per normal. We've got bets in all the Premier League games or leans, some best bets in Europe as well, exclusive selections from our handicappers. So please do check it out. If you are new to the channel, do consider signing up totally for free. It doesn't cost you anything. And anyone new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel as well. We're closing in on 12,000 subscribers, Nigel, on YouTube. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support. And keep hitting that like button as well. It really does help us out. Now, you were mentioning at the top of the show how you were getting excited about the WTA Tour. You've got you and
for the first time this year. For the first time,
yeah. You and Rory have got runners and riders, let's say, at the business end of the tournament. WTA Hong Kong here. Couple of games, which, I mean, they look quite close betting heats to me here, Nigel. Let's start with the outright that you've got. Victoria Mboko against Leylah Fernandez. You were saying to me off air, if Mboko wins this, she'll be probably favourite for the whole tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think she will be. And I mean, I actually thought this might be a little bit closer in the betting than these odds suggest. That's one of the reasons why we gave her at 14-1 to win the tournament. These are two Canadian players, obviously. Fernandez has had a good end of the year, and Mboko burst onto the scene by winning her tournament, the Canadian Masters. She went into the US Open as a real contender. 16-1 shot, I think, with some books, and as low as general 20-1 price. Got beat in first round, but she got beat by a very good opponent, a former major champion in Barbara Krejcikova. But now she's got rid of her injury. She's playing well. She's hitting the ball hard. She looks good. She come through a brilliant match 2 days ago against Leylah, who's a great young player, going to be a good start. And she was excellent today against Kalinskaya in the first set, winning 6-1. And then Kalinskaya pulled out injured 3-1 down in the second set. On that form, she's going to give Leylah Fernandez a test there, a real test. Fernandez has been in good form towards the end of the year. She won the tournament in Osaka. But I just feel that 24-7, that's not how much coverage we give on this channel, but it's 24 wins to 7 losses on Mboko on a hard court at good level this year compared to Fernandez, who's 28-15. I think that price currently with Bet Rivers, the plus 138, will be a lot lower. I think she'll start around about plus 115. So if you want to get a little bit of value, bet Victoria Mboko. There's no way I'm hedging it. As the show says at the beginning, every time I'm come on, hedging's for gardens. I'm not hedging no position. I'd rather go in, don't be a moron, put more on rather than hedge. Plus 138, I'm going to go on Mboko.
So the other semi-final here in Hong Kong, Cristina Bucsa against Maya Joint. Joint's the favourite, minus 150. A good jolly for you, Nigel, here, Joint, or not?
Well, I mean, I mentioned her on the WTA show because there's a lot of incentive for players who just need to win matches to be seeded for the upcoming Australian Open. And at the end of the year, the seedings will be set, and that will be what we seeded for the US Open, the Australian Open. And Maya Joint has had a good enough week here to make her be into the top 32 in the world, which means she's going to be seeded for her first major. Now, that to me suggests one or two things. She can either go on, that her objective this week was to basically set herself in to be seeded. She's done it. So when she's set her goal, now she was going to win the tournament. But I think it might be hard to reset herself going again. She's up against Bucsa, who's a decent opponent. She needs it slower. It's not exactly quick here, but I would expect Maya Joint to win this if she hasn't already thought, well, my job's done for this week. I want Bucsa to win. I want Mboko to win because then it sets me up an easier final. But I think Maya Joint should come through. So if I was looking for the final, I think Maya Joint and Mboko. Leylah Fernandez is too short. Minus 175 is far too short for her. It's a close to a 50-50 call, that match.
And then, of course, really exciting for the WTA show in India, in Chennai. That semi-final, Birrell against Garland. Are you confident, Nigel?
Well, she's up against Garland and Judy Garland. And, somewhere over the rainbow, there is a pot of gold for me and Roy Girani on the WTA show. All those people didn't, we went down to Wizard of Oz. We asked for courage. We asked for a heart. And we've gone over that rainbow. And at the end of it, there could be a golden nuggets of Birrell that could turn our season around. With up against Judy Garland, couldn't believe it. Eh? What about that?
Love it.
We need Dorothy. Anyone back in Kansas, we're gonna win it for
I love
that.
that.
But, I'd love to see Birrell win it. Obviously, I'd love to see it. But no, is there any odds there? I don't think
no. There's no odds anywhere.
Let me just have a quick look.
I can't find any, but
I think we'd be a slight favourite. No, nothing massive, but we'll be a slight favourite. We've got 16.5 to 1 about a winning the match because we've got the half of the each way part. I think she'll be a slight favourite. So
would you hedge on this one?
No, Steve, you worked me long enough. No, I won't be hedging.
That's the question that you get asked the most, isn't it? When should I hedge? A lot of people ask you that question. Just going back, there's a couple of questions that people are asking about the back into the soccer world. Sure. Turin and Rotterdam Tourist Board is on about set pieces in the Premier League, and he's absolutely right. There's been loads scored. 28% of goals from set pieces in the Premier League. That's absurd. Any centre-back goal scorer fancies for the weekend? I'll give you one, Turin. In Forest, Man United, Sergej Milinkovic, I think, will be primed by Sean Dyche to get on the score sheet. I'm pretty sure when he first came into Everton, Michael Keane got a couple of goals. So I think that would be a centre-back I'll be looking at.
I'll give you one.
Take your pick from the Arsenal team.
I'll give you one. Dan Burn from Callers for West Ham.
Ooh,
Cannot defend
yeah.
Callers. Dan Burn. He'll cause West Ham all kinds of problems from set pieces.
That's a good point. And Hearts, Nigel, minus 1.5 on the spread this weekend. Would you be backing them?
Well, I mean, they drop points in midweek against St Mirren, and St Mirren are a very physical side in Scotland, and they should have won it. I mean, we thought we got the winner last kick of the game, or one of the last kicks of the game, but it was ruled out, rightly so. So we've got to go again. It's a big match. It's a big week for them because the Rangers and Celtic play each other in cup action. So hopefully that ends in 8 players each and 3 players get suspended from each side. So, but I think they'll beat this Dundee side. Dundee's a second from bottom, but I do think the market is very slowly catching up with them. So when we were highlighting this out a few weeks ago on the Betting Weekly Dojo, if you haven't watched this show, we've been talking about Hearts throughout the season. There was always value in their matches. I just got a feeling now that the market, the Far East market and the market itself over here has caught up with Hearts. But I do think there's still tremendous value to win it. I think they're better. I do, because I just think the Rangers and Celtic will take points off each other. They're going to be in cup competitions, in European cup competitions, and it didn't really too bother me about the draw. Obviously, I would like them to win, but I think the value you're getting now at plus 275 is great value for them to win the whole thing. But the market now on their individual matches and on the Asian handicaps is that of a top Scottish side, and I think the days of us betting them at even money and 10 to 11 and minus 110s and minus 120s have got long gone. I mean, there was a substantial move in midweek against St Mirren. They got bet down from plus 115. They started the match at minus 136. That was a big move, and now people have caught onto it. So we won't mention them anymore in the dojo, and hopefully we can get some better prices. But I still think they're valued to win the whole thing. But I wouldn't be rushing them at 1.5. No, a win will do for us now. That'll do.
Dan Burn is plus 950 to score any time against West Ham this weekend, and Milenkovic is 13-1 with Bet Rivers against Man United. Hopefully, maybe they can cash that one. As a reminder of the daily double today, Coventry money line and Augsburg Dortmund over 2.5 goals. That's at plus 171. Let's hope we can cash with that. Someone was asking when Betting Weekly extra time will be released. I think it should be released in 20 minutes, Nigel, as per normal.
Yeah.
So really good one that today. Really good one with me and James and Dan. Enjoyed that. So we'll look forward to that dropping. Thanks, Nigel, for your time as always.
And you, mate. Take care.
Best of luck with all those plays. Just a reminder of those plays. That double, I've just put it on there. And for me, over 3 Asian goals in the Augsburg Dortmund game looks good. And I'd lean on Getafe minus 1/4 goal. What was your best bet from the tennis, Nigel, again?
I didn't really have a best bet on the tennis. I mean, if I was going to have a bet tonight, I'd do 2 leans. I'd bet Sinner and Shelton to be over 22.5, and I'd probably take Medvedev to beat Zverev. But my best bet on the night is Coventry, which we put in the daily double.
Simple as that. Yeah, absolutely. Take care, everyone. Remember to gamble responsibly. Have a really great weekend. Cash those winning tickets, and don't have too many frights tonight out there on Halloween. So see you all next week on Betting Weekly Live on Monday. Goodbye.